Blog Talk Radio.
It's time for another great episode of the Stop Doing Nothing Show, the show for high achievers. Now, here's your host, Patrick Allman.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another great Thursday show with your host, Patrick Allman. You are listening to the Stop Doing Nothing High Achiever radio show here on Blog Talk Radio. We have a show every Thursday at 4 p.m. Central Time where we talk about the things that you need to know and need to be working on to become a high achiever in life, to be building your platform, to be basically setting up your day to the perfect kind of day of the day where you're getting things done that are making you happy. My goal is to always have a perfect day from the moment I wake up to the moment I get to sleep, and I'm constantly striving for that. But there are certain habits, certain things you need to put in place for that to happen, and that is what this show is for. You're listening to Show 6. This is our first show of 2013. We have a live chat room. If you go to blogtalkradio.com/stopdoingnothing and scroll down to the bottom, there's a live chat room, and I'm in there right now where I can see any of your feedback. This show is every Thursday at 4 p.m. Central, which is going to be 5 p.m. Eastern Time, or 2 p.m. Pacific Time, so get that on your calendar. If you like what you're hearing, feel free to share it on social media. Also, hop over to the website, stopdoingnothing.com, and get on our email list. And also our Facebook page at facebook.com/stopdoingnothing. We have something kind of exciting going on both. Is we are in the process of building a high achiever web application called Desire, and I would encourage you to check that out also. If you want to call in live during the show and interact with me, the number is 424-222-5282. And again, we're here every Thursday at 4 p.m. This is Show 6. Like I said earlier, the date is January 3rd, 2013. The first show of 2013, I've kind of called this show Now What? Creating the High Achiever Environment. And for the next 28 minutes, we're going to be talking about some of the habits, processes, and procedures you need to put in place to kind of create the high achievement environment for you. You've listened to plenty of podcasts, I'm sure, and you've also read your share of books on high productivity. And you've heard the thing about, big rocks, small rocks, medium rocks, and setting goals and building goal lists and limiting distractions. Well, there's tons of information out there about when it comes to goal setting and being highly productive, and you can almost get saturated, if you will, reading about the amount of material to be productive. There's different processes. There's the Pomodoro time management process. There's Tony Robbins. There's just different people you can listen to learn how to manage your life. And you could actually spend a good chunk of your time just trying to figure out how to manage a good chunk of your time. Or as I call this, you can waste a lot of time reading productivity tips. So my goal for you today is for you to eliminate maybe some of that head trash out of your head about how should I be productive, where should I get started, what should I do, and I want you to think about the environment that you live in, the environment that you work in, and that environment is what controls a lot of your energy and your excitement. And for you to knock your way outside of your goals, for you to basically accomplish the things that you need to accomplish to have an ideal day, you need to put things in place that are going to make you excited. And that's what I found is one of the best ways to make constant progress on where I want to be in my life, is to set up my environment and set up my day to where I'm excited and I cannot wait to get out of bed, and I cannot wait to get off and running. I cannot wait to get to the gym. I cannot wait to go networking. I cannot wait to go mastermind. So you want to set up your environment like that to where you are excited to get things done. No one has to push you. You're almost pushing yourself. And so what I've done is, in preparation for the show today, I have composed a list of the different things that I have noticed that work for me when it comes to setting up my environment to be highly productive. And I'm going to list off a bunch of things here, but really what I want you to take away from this is maybe about 4 to 5 things that you can start setting yourself up for to be highly productive, and to create the excitement that you need, because the excitement will get more excitement, will get your energy level. And once you get your energy level at a certain level, it's kind of self-sustaining. There was, I believe there was a self-sustaining energy source out there once called a Tesla coil from Nikola Tesla. And it basically kind of feeds itself, and that's the state I want you to get into. But first, before you get to that part, I want you to think about your priorities. And this is an area I think where a lot of people fail, is they basically have this grandiose list of 10 to 20 different things that are high priority items. They say, I'm going to do those in 2013. I've got these 10 things I'm going to do. I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to start this business. I'm going to do this with my house. I'm going to do this with my job. And as far as I'm concerned, when you have a large number of high priority items, none of them are really high priority. You cannot have, in my opinion, you cannot have 10 to 20 high priority items on your to-do list. At most, you can really have about 2 or 3. And I'm talking the highest of high priorities. I come from a software development background. A lot of times people would send us bugs or issues and I'd hold them all up, and I'd say, of these 10 or 20 you gave me, which one are the highest priority? And they said, well, all of them are. And I say, no, you can't have it that way. One or 2 get to be the highest priority. The others are lowest priority. And we'd go back and forth. And eventually, I'd went out and I'd say, okay, if we only had to accomplish 1 or 2 of these, what would it be? And you force yourself to pick, and you would force them to pick. This is the most important one. Then after that, you know what? Then number 3 bubbles up to number 1. The number 4 bubbles up to number 1. So of all the things that you thought you'd accomplish the past year that you want to accomplish in 2013, kind of go through those and figure out, what? If I have 10, well, maybe these 2 or 3 are really the important ones, and the other ones I like to get done or I'd like to work on, but they're not just as high as important as these other 1 or 2. So pick out what those top 2 or 3 are, and those are the highest priority ones, and then kind of sort the other ones, or let the other ones bubble beneath that. Something else I would encourage you to do is, as we go through this list, focus on the things that are helping you be productive and not the things that are helping you be busy. It's very easy to basically start doing things, and at the end of the day, since you've done stuff, you've accomplished getting a task done, you feel like you've actually made some progress in life. But when you really look at it, as busy as that task was, it didn't actually help you make any forward progress. You can be very busy all day long and not make forward progress in your life. So focus on being productive, which means everything that you do is going to be oriented towards those top 2 or 3 things, so those top 2 or 3 goals that we talked about. You want to be productive. You don't want to just be busy. Now, when it comes to creating the environment, that's one thing that I really want to focus heavily on this call, is creating the environment for you to create excitement. One of the first things that you're going to have to do is focus on your health. It's something that you see in a lot of goal setters list, and there's a reason for that. Is that if you don't have the energy level, if you're feeling lethargic, if you're just feeling mentally and physically drained, to tell you the truth, nothing else matters. You can have the best physical environment, the best motivational board, the best to-do list, the most organized time schedule, but if you don't have the energy to put one foot in front of the other, or you don't have the energy to get to the gym, or you don't have the energy to go see your trainer, or you don't have the energy to go jogging or ride your bike or whatever it is that you do with your time, then the rest of it's kind of a waste level. So look at the things that you eat. Look at the things that you drink. Look at the things that you put in your body. I don't have to tell you, you probably already know that a lot of our world is filled with processed sugar, and processed sugar is an energy drainer. Anything having to do with sodas or high carb levels, high artificial carb levels just will suck the life out of you. So you might want to look at the things that you actually put in your body. That's your first level of your health. The second level is going to be, of course, just physically taking care of your body, the exercise, things like that. But your health needs to be a highest priority on your list, because your health will control how much you can accomplish and all the other things. So when you think about setting up your environment right, think about putting across or setting out some time in your daily or weekly schedule to where your strict focus for a small period of time is taking care of your health and nothing else. When it comes to environment also, I would have you take a look at, when you look at your home office or even your work office, look at the things that you have set up around you and how much of them are kind of work things and how much of them are kind of happy, motivational, smiley things. Now, some of this is going to be, seem a little bit cliche, but it works out very true that those things that you constantly see in front of you are the things that kind of inspire you, that motivate you, and you need to keep those in front of you at all times. For example, right now I'm in the environment where my computer is, and the things in front of me are pictures of family. There's a card from my wife. There's a rock there that says some people make things happen, some watch things happen, while others wonder what happened. And I have some of those small motivational posters, Believe and Succeed, and a success poster in front of me. And then an award I got from Easter Seals, and then a dream catcher from someone who actually listened to one of my podcasts, one of my webinars online, and was impressed enough that caught me at a seminar in person and gave me something. So all day long when I'm looking towards the wall where my computer is, everything in my peripheral vision is uplifting and motivational. Birthday cards, stuff from my daughter, pictures of my mom, pictures of my wedding. Just the things that I keep in front of my eyes are the things that keep me excited and keep me motivated to do what I do all the time. Now, if you're like me, and some of you are, you're in an environment where you're at a computer all day long. And it's very easy on a computer to let things kind of get cluttered up. And a cluttered computer desktop to me just completely makes me frazzled. And so one of the things I've gotten to doing is that when I'm looking at my computer desktop, I try to keep things organized in folders. And, I have a few icons on my desktop, but I try not to keep that many because, like I said, as soon as I see, 10, 20, 30 icons on someone's desktop, I'm like, how in the world are you productive with that many things on there? So try to keep your computer desktop somewhat cleared off and clean. And when it comes to computer also, I know this may seem cheesy, but look at the computer background that you have up on your screen. I'm using an iMac, and what I've done is I have a motivational images folder on this computer, and I set up the iMac to every hour go pull out a different motivational image out of that folder and change my background. So, there may be times where I have everything minimized or I'm working on something in a smaller window. The background of that environment is always motivational, always uplifting. And, I get different things off the internet. Pinterest is good for this kind of stuff. It's very quick and easy for me to use the Mac to do a screenshot of something and grab something and drop that in that motivational folder. Again, I've heard before that motivational folders are cheesy. Motivational images are cheesy. The stuff from the Successory store, which I don't think is around anymore. There used to be a store called Successories in our local mall where you could go get large posters and small posters of very motivational things. I've heard that's cheesy. Well, as cheesy as it is, it works. That's been proven over and over again. You will get excited about it, and you'll take action on the things that are in front of you. And so, again, our goal here is to create a physical and virtual environment that constantly gives you energy, that constantly keeps you excited about what you are working on and where you are going in life. So far we've covered, how things are going to be looking on the wall, your computer backdrop. We've talked about your health. Like I said, Pinterest is a really good place. If you go to Pinterest to look for motivational, inspirational posters. Even I have some pin boards up there with some different motivational, inspirational things in there. Pinterest is a great place for this. Something else you may have to consider doing is rearranging your office. If you're in an environment where you can rearrange your office, you can rearrange your desk, consider doing it in a way that the things that you look out past your computer or the things you look out on your walls are somewhat uplifting and motivational. If you're someone, for example, who's by a window and the window is kind of behind you, see if there's a way that you can get that window in front of you, or put a table or something over by the window to where you can see outside, you can see the birds and the plants and the things that are going on outside of life. That will kind of uplift you. Also, the sunlight. And if you are in an environment where you get no sunlight, see if you can change that. See if you can arrange that. Personally, I found out that just getting out and about in the sunlight where life is going on is very exciting, and it kind of boosts up my energy level. So look at your different environmental factors. Are you comfortable in your desk? Is your desk the right size? Is your chair the right size? Is all that stuff around you? Just create an environment for you that makes you feel like you want to get things done. We talked about your virtual desktop for a little bit. Look at your actual physical desktop. I know earlier I talked about my environment and the things I have up on the walls, but I didn't talk about the actual things on my desk. I have an issue with a lot of other people, is that if I am not careful, I can let my desk get cluttered. And for example, right now I do have a contract on my desk I need to respond to. I have a coaster. I have some Carmex. I have a pen. I have a little video camera. I have some different things on my desk, and my desk is not too crowded. And I have others behind me that just have some paperwork on it. But if I'm not careful, if I'm not careful, I end up using my desk kind of like my to-do list, kind of like my priority list. I will put things on my desk, or people will put things on my desk that are things that I need to get done. Here's a bill that has to be paid, or here's a video you need to watch, or here's something you need to file away, or here's a credit card that has to go back into the file. Just those kind of different things are not the most productive way to use your physical space. So as much as possible, try to keep things off of your desk that aren't directly related, that you're not using directly at once. And then if you're kind of afraid about forgetting something if it's on your desk, that's what people use their desk for a lot of, is, okay, these are the things I have to work on. Get a tool manager, like Remember the Milk, that's what I use. And as you clear stuff off your desk, put it in a nice organized filing cabinet, and then just add that to your to-do list to pull out and work on. If you have to modify a contract, put that in a folder someplace of contracts to be worked on, out of sight, out of mind. Then go to your to-do list and type in, Remember the Milk, I can say, review contract for revisions, and mark that I'm going to work on that in 2 days. And then I just basically pay attention to my Remember the Milk list. That tells me what to get done. When I need that contract, I'll pull it out. But get as much clutter and junk and paperwork and different things off your physical desk. We're about a little bit past halfway through our show real quick, and for those of you that are listening live, I would encourage you to go to blogtalkradio.com/stopdoingnothing and join us in our live chat room. If you have some comments about some different things that you use to basically create a productive environment, I would love to hear them. You can call in and participate live at area code 424-222-5282. And for those of you listening to the recording, well, I'm sorry, it's not live if you're on a recording. Okay, let's keep on going down to the second half of our show, and I want to cover some of the other things that you can do to create the ideal environment to be productive. Remember as a kid, and girls may have done this more than guys, I don't know, but I just know different people doing this. As a kid, you would get some poster board, and you would go through different magazines, and you would cut out all the cool things, or all the things that you wanted, or all the things that you were excited about, and you would put those on a piece of poster board in your room, and you would display that prominently. And it might be a mess because it was made of glue and newspaper cuttings, and things weren't square and things weren't cut right, but it really didn't matter. It would look pretty cool. My daughter has one up in just about every single room that she's been in, and I don't currently have one up right now, but I hear that's a good way for a lot of people to be motivated. If there's certain amounts of financial freedom that you want to achieve, if there's certain things you want to buy, if there's certain places in the world that you want to go, find pictures of those places online, which shouldn't be hard, or in magazines, and start keeping those in a folder, and go out and get maybe either a 2 foot by 4 foot or 4 foot by 6 foot piece of particle board from your local hobby store, and considering gluing all that stuff on there and putting that in a place where you can see it prominently. And that's the second half of it. Not only do you have to make it, is you have to put it someplace where you can see it all the time. It'll help keep you focused. It'll help eliminate the things that you are doing in life that are not getting you to the place you want to be. whether it comes to travel or different financial goals or cars or physical items, if you want those kind of things, those are very easy to find pictures out on the internet, print them out, cut them all up, but make some kind of dream board and keep that dream board in front of your eyes at all time. I promise it will keep you focused. My daughter has chosen to do one in her room that covers half of a wall, and it's just different concerts she's been to, people she wants to meet, concerts that she wants to go to, things like that. But like I said, I want to reiterate this over and over and over. Keep those things in front of your eyeballs, and consider not just doing it in your home office. Keep things on your refrigerator that you want to remember to work on, or that are dreams of yours. Keep things on your bathroom mirror. I've done this before when it comes to like weight or health goals. Is I've kept track of what I'm working on or the past progress that I've made, and I've taped that to my bathroom mirror. And if you were ever to come into my house, you'd see there's, if we haven't cleaned off the mirror recently with Windex, there's tape marks on my bathroom mirror where I've taken 8.5 by 11 sheets of paper and I've taped them up there. I have to see it first thing in the morning. As I'm getting ready in the morning, I have to look at the entire time I'm shaving and brushing my teeth. It's a constant reminder. And again, I know some of these methods I'm talking about sound cheesy, but they work. The things that you constantly see and or constantly think of are the things that you will be working on that will be top of mind for you. Something else I would encourage you to do, and this comes maybe having to do with putting different posters around your house. Sometimes people don't necessarily want other people to see that maybe they have a certain weight goal, or if they have goals at all. And I would encourage you to not really be afraid or ashamed of your goals. I've heard of people before, for example, putting like maybe a weight goal on the refrigerator, but when people come around, they take it down because they don't want their friends to see that particular part of their life. And I would encourage you to keep things like that up. People will ask you about it. People will be interested, and I can tell you that most of the time when people know that you have a goal, you will be praised for it, and you might even be set as a good example for somebody. So if you have some different things around your house that you set up for motivation and encouragement, leave those up when guests come around. Please don't hide those. And also make sure that as you put these things up, your family knows about your goals. This happened in my household before, where we've put different health goals or weight goals on the refrigerator, and it even though I may have a goal and somebody else may not, other people in my household can keep me in check when it comes to that goal. If I'm opening up the refrigerator to get opening up the freezer to get a bowl of pecan ice cream, and I have a goal right there that says, I want to get down to 19% body fat. I have family and friends shaking their finger at me, and I know it's kind of a chuckle, but that kind of motivation, that kind of encouragement, that kind of finger shaking also helps. In addition to not being afraid of your goals or displaying them in public, also don't worry about being too aggressive on your goals. In order to be a high achiever, which is something I really want people to learn how to do, you're going to have a little bit of a different mindset. And part of that mindset is you're going to have to be a little bit aggressive. You can't be someone who's kind of wishy-washy or passive about the things you want in life. You have to be, you've heard the phrase, go-getter. That's what you have to be. Most people in life just kind of muddle their way through. They kind of dog paddle their way through. But to really make or create an amazing amount of success in your life, you have to be someone who's a little bit more aggressive and someone who's not willing to settle for mediocrity. So you're going to have that aggressive mindset that, there are certain things I'm willing to accept, and there are certain things that I'm not willing to accept. So the aggressive part I really want you to focus on there also. Don't forget or even consider telling your goals to a friend. And this may involve getting some masterminding involved. I belonged to several mastermind groups in the past, and they've just come and gone. I've done some free ones. I've done some paid ones. Mastermind groups are a little bit of a challenge because you have to find just the right mix of people. But if you find a mastermind group that you can trust, and that's a really big key part of it, these are going to be people that you're going to tell your personal and your business goals to. Find a group of people that you can trust and meet with those people on a regular basis. I was part of a mastermind group here in Oklahoma City, and all of us took notes during each meeting. If a friend of mine, Joe, said, I'm working on completely eliminating smoking as one of my habits, and I'm looking to, exercise at least 3 times a day. Well, we'd meet once a month. That'd be 4 weeks, 4 times 3. Next meeting, I'd say, so did you get in your 12, your 12 exercise sessions? And either he would or he wouldn't. If he didn't, we'd work on, maybe some time management and how I could do that a little bit differently. If he did or he exceeded, that, there was some kudos involved. But find some people that you can trust with your goals and with your thoughts, and have them hold you accountable. If you want to make a little bit of fun and you have some disposable income, you might even consider giving somebody else a reward if you fail a particular goal. Again, you have to have the disposable income for this. But you know what? If you say you don't make your 12 exercise sessions, tell someone you're going to pay them $20. So not only do you feel the actual pain of not exercising, you actually feel the pain in your wallet also. Not too many people can do that, but hey, if you can spare the $20 every now and then, that's going to kind of keep you on task, because I'm sure you would really like to keep that $20. Something else I want to cover real quick before we wrap up here in about 3 or 4 minutes is a lot of times when people want to be highly productive, they get kind of frustrated because they end up doing things that aren't necessarily fun all the times. And I'm here to tell you that there may be times where you're going to have to sacrifice the things that are fun for your goals. If you want to write a book, if you want to make a video series, if you want to attain a certain health goal, you may not be able to go to happy hour with your friends. You may not be able to hang out in front of the TV and watch the latest episode of Game of Thrones. Thank God for a DVR, that's all I can say. Or you may not be able to just, when 5 o'clock comes around, to walk away from whatever you're working on and say, I'm done with it. I'm going to go off and pull the Al Bundy in front of the TV in the evenings. You may have to do some things that are boring and dull. While your other friends are out, at happy hour, you might be on the treadmill. While your other friends are out, watching TV, you might be in writing your next New York Times bestseller book. So sometimes life has to be dull. I've had this conversation with my own daughter before, when I say, there are certain things you have to work on, like your financial budget, or like cleaning your room, or like exercising. And every now and then I'll get pushback from her because she say, well, that stuff is boring. I don't want to work on that stuff. And we're like, yeah, you're right. It is boring. But you know what? It's also going to help you later in life. It's going to help you get to where you want to be. Life is not all about happy hour and partying all the time. Sometimes you have to buckle down in a closed office or room by yourself to get the things done. One of the last things I'm going to cover here, and doggone it, I didn't get to all of my list of goals, is one of the things that I have realized is that when I work on the things that when I'm working on my goals really hard and I'm focused and I'm getting things done, I actually save money compared to when I'm not so focused on my goals. For example, if I'm not focused on my goals and somebody calls that wants to go to happy hour, they want to go to lunch, or they want to go do this, they want to do that, it ends up costing me in time because I have to, get ready to go, get in the car, drive someplace. It costs me in mental energy, and I know that seems kind of selfish, but you only have so much mental energy. And more than likely, it's going to cost me in revenue. If I go to lunch with someone, it's going to cost me money. If I go to coffee with somebody, it's going to cost money. If I go to happy hour with somebody, it's going to cost me money. I'm better off staying at home sometimes, most of the time actually, working on my goal, which I can do for free in my home office. It costs nothing for you to get out a piece of paper and start outlining your next book. It's a lot cheaper and a lot more productive than hopping in the car, going 45 minutes to a happy hour, and hanging out with a bunch of friends of yours, then coming back, it's 11 o'clock at night, and you're full of alcohol and you have no energy. A couple of other notes that I wanted to cover, but you know what? I don't have the time in this show. I appreciate you, those listening. I do see that we do have at least one person in the chat room there. Bill, shout out to you, sir. Don't forget to tune in every Thursday at 4 p.m. Next Thursday, January 10th, there will not be a live show, and I'm not even sure about a recorded show because I'll be out of town on business. If you want to listen to the other shows, go to stopdoingnothing.com. Look at the previous blog post. You'll see the previous podcasts. In addition, you can subscribe on iTunes to this show by going to blogtalkradio.com/stopdoingnothing and clicking on the iTunes icon. And you can also follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/stopdoingnothing. And, of course, visit our new app at desire.stopdoingnothing.com. This has been Patrick Allman with Stop Doing Nothing, the High Achievers half-hour radio show. Look forward to talking to you again soon. Now go out there and be a high achiever. You have a great day.